Then check this out.
From Alaska.
Mr. President, I'm on the floor again with my colleague from Texas, Senator Cruz, trying once again to pass our Pay Our Military Act.
Tell me something we don't know. Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time explaining what we're trying to do here. Since 48 hours ago, we tried to do the same thing.
Okay.
We're in our conference right now trying to get to a compromise, working through things to make sure we don't have a government shutdown. It may or may not happen. It's looking more likely, though. And as we get closer to that moment, the idea that we would leave the men and women who protect this country uncertain about whether they're going to get paid, even though they're still going to deploy, they're going to still be fighting all over the world, protecting this nation. So we're going to leave them out hanging, right? So all we're trying to do, Mr. President, is the most common sense thing you could do if you cared one bit about the troops of the United States.
Oh, really?
Let's say, hey, we know you're worried. We know you're probably deployed. We know your wife or spouse is back home, worried about where you're going to get paid next week. You got a dangerous mission you're going on tonight somewhere in the world. So we're going to take that worry away from you because we care about you. Now, granted, my colleagues might say, well, what about the IRS worker? What about the Department of Interior worker? No offense, there's a little bit of a difference, okay? There's a little bit of a difference. We all know it. We should know it. So as we get closer, this is the bipartisan solution that we all need to undertake.
Great word.
And Mr. President, here's the thing. As I said last week, when we had the identical situation in 2013, 10 years ago, identical, a Democrat-controlled Senate, a Republican-controlled House, a Democrat-controlled White House, it was looking like there was going to be a shutdown. What did everybody unanimously agree to? Hey, let's take the troops out of this. Let's make sure the men and women who serve in our military are not worried. Let's unanimously pass the Pay Our Military Act.
Angela, come here. Check this out.
And it looks like my Democratic colleagues are going to come down and object and make some gobbledygook argument about appropriations or let's keep trying. The government's going to shut down tomorrow evening. We're going to keep trying. But let's take one group of Americans and say, hey, we know you sacrifice more than anybody. We're going to take that worry away from you. We did it 10 years ago in a bipartisan way, so we're going to do it again. So, Mr. President, you know, I guarantee you agree with this bill. As a veteran of almost 30 years, naval aviator, you know what it's like. There's guys on aircraft carriers right now, women on aircraft carriers flying F-18s. And their spouses back home are going, hey, honey, guess what? I don't think I'm gonna have money to buy groceries next week. And that guy's getting ready to take off on some carrier in the Indo-PACOM region. And he's got to worry about that? He's got to worry about that? She's got to worry about that?
Hey, that's pretty good.
We can fix that right now. Right now. And we've done it before. And I can't imagine my Democratic colleagues are going to come up and object to this bill. I'm starting to get mad. We don't want a government shutdown, but we can protect certain people, for goodness sakes. And if we're not going to protect our troops and their families, I don't know who we should protect. So maybe my colleagues are on the floor getting ready to say, you know what, geez, Senator Sullivan, Senator Cruz, we relent. These are good ideas. And you know why we know these are good ideas? Because we all did this 10 years ago. I have no idea why we didn't do it now. So I'd like, Mr. President, I yield the floor and recognize my colleague from Texas.
Now I feel better.